After the storm, man. After the storm, uh, talk to me, man. How did it feel to be on that big stage?
Yeah, great. I'm in the amateurs. I've been working so hard, and just I was waiting on my time to go pro, and it's finally here, and this feel like a dream come true.
You know, being on that type of a stage. Tell me, man. What's the type of feeling? Obviously, it's your pro debut, and it's Vegas, basically your hometown. A lot of people went to show up to show out for you. What's the feeling?
Uh, the feeling was great. I was nervous, like in the locker room, but then like once I walked out, seeing everybody, it just went away for some reason, and then I felt comfortable, and just I was loving it.
Yeah, you was feeling the moment.
Yeah.
Um, you know, if you had to grade your performance, obviously you're looking at your performance. You don't really care about the judges. You don't really care about the result. You're kind of just spaced out looking at yourself. What could have you done better in your eyes?
Uh, Maybe went down to the body more.
Hmm.
That was our game plan from the beginning. I was expecting to drop him with a body shot, but I hit him with the jab. He fell, and then after that, I just was like on him, and then it was over with. But I'll probably say go down to the body more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Talk to me. Obviously, when you're in the locker room, you get that knock on the door saying you on. How does that feel? You could see, just with Jermell Charlo alone, he had the jitters. You obviously had no jitters whatsoever. Tell me about that feeling, at least warming up in the locker room and getting that knock at the door.
Uh, yeah. I was ready. I was putting my the suit on and stuff, and I was getting hyped, and I was just ready to go out there. And then when they knocked, we was gone.
Now, are you listening to music while you're in the locker room getting hype, or is it calm and collective?
I was listening to music in my headphones until I put the gloves on. And I started hitting the mitts and stuff. But before that, I was listening to music.
What you listening to?
I was listening to a lot of Lil Baby, Young Boy, and like some raw wave in there.
Mm. So tell me, man. Post press conference comes. Uh, you get a lot of There's a lot of hype coming in. The press conference itself and the post press conference. I seen you doing an interview with Leonard Ellaby, and then obviously the main post press conference with Floyd. How is that getting used to being around media at this point in time in your career? Are you getting used to it or what?
Uh, yeah, I definitely. I'm getting used to it more now. Like I wasn't as nervous on the stage as I thought I would be. But yeah, and I definitely need to keep getting more and more used to it. Because there's gonna be a lot of media, especially in my career.
Mm. Um, you're in the podium. People are asking you questions, but in the same time, they're asking Floyd questions. Javante Davis felt the same exact factor. When it came down to your feelings upon that, did you feel like he kind of like takes away your shine or adds to the shine?
I felt he adds to the shine. I didn't think he was trying to take away my shine. At the end of the day, it's Floyd Mayweather. He's like the biggest. He's the face of boxing. Like, and so, and then he's right there with me. He's talking about me or himself right with me. So that only adds to my shine. That's put
Talk
more.
about Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So talk about that. Like, do you feel like is there any nerves coming into it, knowing that it is Floyd Mayweather and people are, comparing you to, the next Javante Davis? And do you like that comparison? When people talk about it.
Yeah. Of course, Tank is a very skilled fighter. He's one of the best fighters out right now. And but I like for people to know me, know Curmel Moton more, and not call me Tank 2.0 or whatever. But yeah, and there is pressure, of course, but I'm ready for it. And I've been working hard. I believe in myself. My team believes in me. So be ready.
I was actually really happy for you when Floyd said this remark. Uh, in less than 24 months, you're gonna be a millionaire. Your face, like if I was on your shoes, I would have been like, you know what I'm saying? Like you was just like, yeah, it's gonna happen. Like, what do
Yeah.
you go? What goes through your mind just off of those remarks alone?
Uh, yeah, that just gives me more motivation and something to look forward to and something to work hard towards and just, yeah, motivates me.
You know, being a rich man at 19 years old, it must be something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Um, but in the same time, that being said, I don't know, as far as people in the gym, your peers around you, your closest family members, hearing that remark kind of puts me in the factor of, you obviously being an 8 rounder, 10 rounder fighter really quick. Are you excited for that? And do you believe that, when it comes down to your movement of pace in your career, do you feel like it needs to be, a slow pace? Do you know anything about how many rounds you're going to be doing in the future or how fast? Like what's the game plan for Cormel Moton?
Uh, of course, like with the 10, 12 rounders, there'd have to be a shift in pace. I had to slow down at certain times and pick it up. But I'm in shape and I work hard. And as far as the rounds, I'm not sure what my next fight will be. I know this fight was 6 rounds. So we're supposed to keep moving forward and keep progressing. And yeah, I should be moving faster.
So this one was a 6 rounder that just happened,
Yeah.
passed. Okay, cool. Cool. So the reason why I say this, like, if Floyd's saying you're gonna be a millionaire in the next 24 months, then it goes to show me that you're gonna be doing 10 rounders next year. Fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, something to go look forward to. Now, also in the post press conference, I overheard, I guess Shakur Stevenson left you a comment upon Inoue. What exactly was that comment that Shakur said? And I really liked your response upon it, saying that when that time basically comes, you are going to be the bigger, better man. What was that remark that
Yeah.
Shakur said?
Shakur has said that stylistically, I remind him of Inoue, like with the my punch output and just like the explosiveness and the strength, speed. And all I really said was that just like I appreciate the comparison, but like when it's all said and done, I plan to be a bigger fighter than him, more successful fighter, and all that stuff. A lot of people trying to say that I'm calling him out right now. I didn't say nothing like that.
Right, right, right. You know what it is, bro? It's just media takes certain clips, and just be aware of that at all times. You know what I'm saying? Like I took a clip off of our interview one time. I think we hit like 90 something views, and it was just upon the comparisons of sparring with other people. People will take that and run with it, and you see the type of work that I bring to the table. So it's not like we are on some clickbait shit. It's real talk.
All
So
right.
nevertheless, man, now that it's done, like, is there pressure off your shoulders that now you a pro officially?
Yeah, yeah. There's a less pressure on me, and I just feel more comfortable. And I like the pros. I'm excited to get back in there and do my thing again.
Do you have an idea when you get back in there?
Should be in November.
Mm. So it seems to me that obviously just listening to the remarks of Floyd, uh, you know. with the 24 months of being a millionaire, what are your plans as far as activity is concerned? What we looking at, like a four or five fights from Moton a year?
Yeah, this first year I plan to be real busy. Maybe get in maybe 7, 8 fights.
Mm, mm. Wow, 7 and 8 fights per year. You're saying possibly?
At least this first year for sure.
Oh
Trying to.
wow, wow. Um, does that excite you? Just knowing that you're gonna be an active fighter.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm ready for it.
Mm. Now I know last time we spoke, you didn't know if you were going to be uh, more on the Mayweather promotions or on the PBC route. Is that something that you still don't know yet?
Well, I'm officially signed to Middle Promotions.
Congratulations, man!
Thank you.
Congratulations. Um, I see that he's really trying to build his stable around your age group. Is that true? Is he really building his stable around your age group, your era?
Uh, yeah, there's a lot of young guys coming up right now that got skills, and our team over there, we coming, we strong.
Mm. So talk to me about the night itself, bro. Like obviously you're in the beginning of the card. I got to watch the fight. Your clips alone. I mean, it wasn't really a long fight, right?
Right.
So people got to see it just off of a reel itself. Talk to me. How was the night in your eyes? You finished fighting. What goes on the rest of the day? Obviously, you're gonna watch the fights, but
Uh, yeah, it was just a great experience overall, and I had a lot of fun. And I want to thank Floyd Mayweather for helping me out. He was back in the locker room with me before my fight, telling me the game plan and talking to me and telling me what to do. And then, yeah, it was great. And then after the fight, he came back to the locker room. We was there for like 30 minutes, just talking, having fun. And then we went to the press conference. And then yeah, he helped me out, gave me a lot of exposure. I think I gained like almost 50,000 followers since that night.
50,000, bro.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
yeah,
That's awesome. Mayweather's a genius of marketing. You know what I'm saying? A super
yeah.
genius of marketing. Um, what's different now? That you're a pro. Like as far as popularity is concerned, and besides the 50,000 new followers.
Uh, just my whole mindset. I feel like I'm taking things more serious and just more focused, more locked in.
Um, You got a big team. It seems like Mayweather kind of discussed some of the people. Obviously, your dad is one of the main guys in your career. Um, but speak upon that as far as you moving on, knowing the type of team that you have. It's like Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford got around four or five different coaches, and they all basically work with each other. Speak a little bit about your team and how comfortable you are moving up with the team that you have.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable with my team. I know they all wish the best for me, and they're all there to help me and be the best fighter to be the best fighter I can be. And just yeah, I'm confident. I'm ready. We're ready, and yeah, we work well. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. Everybody knows their thing. I got somebody that I do the mitts with, somebody my cut man, my coach, my second. So it all works great.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, you know, and in other words, when it comes down to 126 pounds, how comfortable you were you in there, in that weight?
I felt great at 126. I felt strong, fast, explosive. Yeah, I like 126. I'll be staying here for a little bit.
Mm. Uh, the type of punch output that you put out, um, is that something that you can do for 10 rounds?
Uh, yeah, of course. I'm always in shape, and I'm ready.
Mm, mm. Um, After said and done, you know, you finish fighting. Post press conferences is done. You talked to Floyd for 30 minutes. Anything special that he said to you that kind of brought a light in your eyes moving forward? You know, being a pro. Something that you haven't been able to say in the post press conference.
I mean, most of the stuff he said it was all on video and it was posted, but just him saying he's proud of me and that we're just gonna keep on going. You're gonna keep helping me and guiding me, and just it motivates me.
Mm, mm. Um, Now, uh, you know, what fights were you able to watch after your fight?
I fought after the Canelo fight, so I was in the locker room. Like I watched Lubin a little bit, and then I watched Canelo's fight.
Okay. So let's get right into it. So you wasn't able to see the Mario Barrios fight.
I seen like the 11th and 12th round.
Okay. Okay. So let's jump right into it. Lubin's fight seemed to me that was a lot of controversy with the, you know, people on the platform, on Showtime platform. I'm pretty sure that the whole Mexican fan bases were kind of going a little bit riot. What were your initial thoughts on the fight? Do you think that they made the right decision?
So I didn't see the full fight, but I seen probably from the 7th round on. And from what I was seeing, Lubin was outboxing him and being the smarter fighter, showing ring generalship. And from what I seen, I thought Lubin got the victory.
Right, right. Yeah. Just hearing the factors of, fighters that go 10, 12 rounds, and it's kind of good to like learn through other fighters and what they're doing in their career versus yours as far as putting in the rounds in the bank the first half of the fight and not necessarily putting it on cruise control towards the second half of the fight. Is that something when you look at other fighters in their careers that you kind of take in factor, you turn that their lesson into a lesson for yourself as well?
Uh, yeah, definitely. You got to make sure you're in shape. And a lot of fighters, they're front runners, and they might start out good, have a good 4 rounds maybe, and then they fade and give the fight away.
Right, right. Um, Now leading up to the main event with Canelo Alvarez, uh, obviously you were going for Jermell Charlo. Um, were you shocked about the outcome of the fight?
Not necessarily the outcome. I knew there was a high chance that Canelo would win, but with Charles' performance, I was a little shocked. I felt like he didn't really come to fight. Really, he just came to be in there. He didn't really come to win, but he was in there, and respect to him. Congratulations, Canelo. They put on a good show.
Now, guys that are your age kind of must feel the similar thing that Canelo feels like, as far as going in there with Kamal, knowing that he's a big puncher, and there's lack of activity from your opponents. Did you understand exactly what was going on due to the fact that the style that you have?
Uh, I say yeah. I feel like Charlo was like intimidated by Canelo, and he just seemed like he was like an opponent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How'd you score the fight?
It was a shutout.
Shutout. I agree. Definitely a shutout. Um, you know, that being said, you know, are you looking forward to, watching Jamel Charlo campaign back at his weight class? And do you feel like this fight was more like, hey, this weight class is for a reason?
Uh,
Or is
yeah, I,
Canelo that
I feel
great?
like I feel like Charlo was too small for the weight division, and but he at his weight he's been doing great. He's undisputed, and I look forward to seeing him getting back and doing good.
Mm, mm. Uh, Are you still interested in Jermell Charlo and Terrence Crawford fight?
Yeah, that's a big fight. I'd love to see it. I'd have to take Terrence Crawford in that one though.
Yeah. You believe that Terrence will be able to fill in nice at 154 pounds and be able to take Jermell Charlo's punch well?
Yeah.
Mm. Now, just looking at the factors of, you know, Canelo himself and how big and mean he is, do you feel like in the same time that Bud and Canelo is just too much weight? It's too much power, and they might be in the same, skill level, great fighters, but there's weight classes for a reason. Would you still be interested in watching that fight?
If Bud were to go all the way up to 168, I don't think Bud will be able to beat him. Only because with that much weight, he'll be too slow. He'll be too heavy, and him fighting Canelo, he'll have to use his speed to beat him. If he goes up that big, he'll be too slow.
Very similar to Jamel, right? Like he wasn't as fast as he normally was, and it's more the factors of the feet, like you say. Your legs feel a little more sluggish, and that you can't move laterally as fast as you really want to.
Yeah, but anything lower than that, maybe 160 or catch weight, I feel like Bud will get him.
Mm, mm. Now, um, knowing that Jamel's older brother Jamal campaigns naturally at 160 pounds. Obviously he has a fight coming up with Jose Benavidez on the Demetrius Andres and David Benavidez card. Um, in your behalf, did Canelo kind of mess up that type of fight? Did Jamel mess up that fight for Maul, or is just they're two different fighters, and that would probably be a fight that is more competitive.
I wouldn't say he messed it up for him. If anything, Maul messed it up for himself. He didn't take the fight. But as far as me, I feel like Mel is the better brother. He has more skills, and he's the more all around solid fighter. But with the size different, maybe Maul can beat Canelo. He's strong. He's more used to being that big. So who knows?
Mm, mm. And in the comment section, they go and say, Cormel versus Bruce Carrington. Does that like add like some type of when it comes down to you, are you kind of nervous? I found some of the people that put so much pressure on you. It kind of seems like the Canelo effect, that it's like, no, he got to fight this guy, he got to fight this prospect, he got to fight this contender. You know?
Nah, it don't make me nervous. I've been in there with most of these guys, and I always do my thing. So I'm not nervous for anything like that. But down the
Is it
road,
more flattering? Is it more flattering than anything?
yeah, definitely. Just lets me know the level that I'm at, and that the fans see I'm at.
I like it. I like that response. I definitely do. When it comes down to some of the comments here, Tommy Graham's. So is Charlo and Spence overrated? What do you think about that comment?
No, you got to give them their respect. They both great champions. They did their thing, and especially Spence lost one time to the pound for pound best fighter in the world, and
Correct.
Spence has been dominating guys for years. So saying they're overrated is crazy.
Well, what's nice to see is that to see these guys take a L and to know how the boxing industry, the boxing world is. I'm pretty sure that Floyd kind of prepared you for that mentally. But have you always knew that this was just a cruel sport, and it's easy to kick a man when they're down?
Yeah, definitely. They boxing fans don't care. They just care whoever's at the top.
And you just smiled. It means that you love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's lit. That's lit. Um, you know, Now people are kind of throwing shade upon Derek James. Um, do you think that that's fair?
Nah, I don't. Derek James has been training Earl for years. He's been training, having good fighters, and at the end of the day, it's not the trainer's fault. And that's like they're telling him bad stuff in the corner, like during the fight. You can't fault the trainer. Like some fighters are they're just talented. That don't mean the trainer is good. Like with Manny Pacquiao, with Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach is not like a super Hall of Fame trainer. Manny Pacquiao was just like that.
Yep, you 100%. He's more like a B side trainer, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Um,
Can't
that's
fault
that's Yeah, that's a good point. Now, like leading up to, obviously people change trainers for so many numerous of reasons. I mean, we had uh Anthony Joshua was, changing trainers like left and right. I think he's already changed trainers 4 or 5 times. Ryan Garcia, same thing. Now we got Demetrius Boo Boo Andres stopped training with his father to train with Andre Rozier for this David Benavidez fight. When it comes down to your career, man, like how do you feel upon your team when it comes down to this topic alone?
my team is strong, and I don't see why I would ever need to change them. They from since I was young, they've everything they've told me has worked and worked in my favor and been right. So I trust them, and I trust my dad, and so I see no reason to change any of my coaches.
Right, right, 100%. Now, when it comes down to Canelo Alvarez himself, man, where do you rank him in your eyes as a fighter? And is he on your pound for pound list?
Yeah, definitely. Canelo, I'll put him like top three pound for pound.
Mm, so let me guess. Crawford, Inoue, Canelo, or Canelo, or Inoue not in your top three. What's
Nah,
your top
nah.
five?
No, my top Crawford number one, in a way, Canelo. No. Canelo in a way, and then Tank is Shakur.
Mm, mm. I like your top five. I do. Um, you know, a lot of people have Usyk in their top five. He just signed his deal with Fury. He Fury's going to be fighting at Gondo, but he already signed an Usyk fight. Kind of looking past the UFC fighter. What do you think about that matchup? And is Usyk even in your top 10?
Yeah, he definitely Usyk is a very skillful fighter. But as far as the fight, whoever wins between Usyk and Fury, I'll put them in my top five. They'll be at
Mm,
least top three. And I feel like Fury's gonna stop Ngannou. But I feel like he shouldn't overlook him like that, just signing the contract. And because Francis is a big puncher, so you always got to be careful with a guy like that.
100%, 100%. Shout out to my guy Coach Dirk in the comments right here. He said what's up to you. He also said what's up to me. Um, a lot of good fights coming up in November. And December. Boxing's really hot. How does it feel to be a professional fighter at 2023, where all these great fights are coming? So it means that you could be on so many different big cards.
Absolutely. Yeah, it feels great, and I'm just in the gym working hard, waiting for the next time I go, and it's a lot of opportunity for me. And yeah, 2023 has been a great year for boxing, one of the best years in a while. And yeah, my name is hot right now, so it's definitely good.
Uh, post meal for Cormel Moton. As soon as, because you already filled back in, bro.
Yeah.
Talk to me. What's the first thing that's going into your stomach after a big fight like this, a big card?
I had I had some I had a burrito.
Mm.
But I'm craving some wings though. I ain't had
Yeah.
wings in a minute.
You chicken or beef or steak
Steak.
in that burrito. Yeah, 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 yeah. I bet you got some nice places out there, man. For real,
Yeah.
for real. Um, what's your thoughts on this fight coming up, man, with David Benavidez and Demetrius Boo Andres?
That's a tough fight. Boo Boo is tricky. He gives anybody problems, and I could see that Boo Boo can outbox Benavidez, but then at the same time, Benavidez might be able to stalk him and get to him, run his combinations and break him down. So it's a 50-50 fight. I'll probably lean towards Boo Boo though.
Really, really. Um, you know, in that fight, why do you lean towards Boo Boo? Obviously, Boo Boo has only fought one time at 168 pounds against Demar Nicholson. He even got knocked down with a jab that they didn't even count. Um, you know, I don't we don't necessarily know if he's gonna be a puncher at a 68. He really wasn't a huge puncher at 60. Uh, what makes you favor Boo Boo Andre against David Benavidez? I mean, a lot of people have him on his pound for pound.
Yeah. Boo Boo's footwork and speed and just his ring generalship. I feel like for the 12 rounds, he'll be able to outbox Benavidez. And Benavidez get hit a lot.
He do, he do. Um, you know, uh, do you think it's gonna be a good fight due to the styles?
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a good fight.
Mm, mm. Did you see Boo Boo Andre's last fight against Demar Nicholson on that Gervonta Tank Davis card against Hector Garcia?
I seen clips of it. He ain't look that good.
Nah, he didn't. Um, you know, uh, good fighter, very awkward. Obviously is a two division champion. When it comes down to when people say, "Hey, who did he fight?" Um, do you, in your eyes, obviously you've been a great amateur. What is it? 7-time division, seven-time champion,
18-time national champion.
18 national time champion. So you've been around the world, to fight internationally as well. So, that being said, when you hear guys say, "Hey, you haven't fought nobody," or "This person hasn't really fought nobody," like, what do you take out of that?
Uh, I feel like a lot of people like say that and they don't know boxing. Like they try to say that Crawford hasn't fought nobody except Spence. Like they don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly, exactly. This is the world class sport here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, in your eyes right now, finishing off the year, listening to some of these upcoming fights. Obviously we got some good ones in your head before me, releasing the matchups. What fight do you want to see that's been already thrown out there?
I want to see Devin and Regis, and I think that I read something about Tank and Tio talking about something,
I
but
did
I don't
hear
know.
that.
They haven't like finalized nothing, but I'd like to see that fight too.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. We'll talk about the fight that actually is officially made though, which is Regis and Devin. Who do you favor in that fight and why? And why do you like the matchup stylistically?
Uh, I like the matchup because Devin is a great boxer and he has good foot speed, and a lot of the guys he fights, they don't have the footwork to catch up to him. And then Regis, I know he's explosive, he's fast, he's gonna be able to get up to Devin, and he has the speed to do it. So it's gonna be a great fight. I'm gonna lean towards Devin. I feel like he'll be able to box Regis and get the decision. Devin got to be careful though, because Regis is a big puncher, and we've seen Devin hurt before, so you gotta be careful.
And he's a southpaw too. It doesn't seem like Devin's too good with southpaws. And we already seen the you and I spoke upon the Spence and Crawford fight, knowing that it gave that southpaw look gave Spence some problems. When it comes to your career in southpaws, like, do you enjoy fighting them, or is it also is it tricky as well?
Nah, actually, I prefer to fight southpaws. People don't know that I grew up sparring mostly southpaws out here in Vegas. Two of the best southpaws in the nation, Capo Gallegos and Philip Vela. They since I was like 7 years old, I've been sparring them. So I like fighting southpaws.
That Robesi work was pretty good. Also, it kind of like made you feel like you supposed to be in there. I remember I was talking about it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm glad that you mentioned the Teofimo and Javante Davis fight. Very weird that it came out the other day. I'm cool with both teams. I haven't heard anything from both teams. Um, so it makes me feel like it's not gonna happen. And then they were talking about what, January 20th or something like that. And then Tio just posted something that, I'll see you in October. So you know how this boxing media stuff works. But say if it was to happen, I'm pretty sure you've been around Teofimo as well, over there in the gym, right? Am I right?
When I was younger, I seen him. I never sparred him or nothing like that. When I was young, I seen him train a few times, and I've talked to him. But me and Tio, we never really like. I ain't been around him like that.
Okay. What do you think of him as a fighter?
He's good. He got skills. He's very strong and explosive. And he surprised me with Josh Taylor. I thought Josh was gonna get it. I wasn't really rooting for Josh, but I thought Josh was gonna win. And then yeah, but Tio did amazing in that fight.
Yeah, he did. He did a really great job. Um, and that being said, the matchup itself. And ladies and gentlemen, please smash the like button. We got over 87 people on the live, only 26 likes. We have Cormel Moton right here. Mayweather's own, Mayweather Promotions own, and just an amazing athlete, an amazing boxer itself. So let's show some love. If you rocking with Cormel, you rocking with Mill City Boxing, make sure you please smash the like button. So that matchup right there, the Tio and Tank, why you like it?
Both the styles is kind of similar. They're both big power punches, counter punches, fast, explosive, and yeah, that would be a great fight. Just both guys will need to be careful. It gives Tank a real challenge. Definitely the biggest challenge we've seen him yet, and I feel like that'll really show people how skilled Tank really is. A lot of people think that Tank just a power puncher, but when he gets in a fight with a guy like Tio, and maybe he hits Tio with a hard shot, but he don't knock him out. So then he'll really have to show his skills, and yeah, that'd be a great fight.
You think that fight goes the distance?
Nah,
No way, right?
nah, they both big punches on either side. It's not going the distance.
And when it comes down to, I remember when they put out the Four Kings back in last year when Tio was at 135. One thing that we can say about Tank and Tio is that they both went through adversity upon taking a punch and showing the dogness. We can't really say that too much about Devin, because when he's gotten tested and we shown that he didn't have as much dog. I don't know if Loma has the big punching power to really show that, but we did see some dog in Devin when it came down to Loma. But these two guys alone, would you have to agree? Probably the two better of the chins in that, when it comes, well, as long as what we got to see. You know what I'm saying? As far as getting that chin tested with the chin insurance. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I've seen them both get hit with like big shots, and neither of them was either like wobbled really. Tio got dropped though. Tio got dropped by Cambosis, and
Sandro Martin as
yeah,
well.
yeah. He was off that fight, but he came back and he handled business.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably the two guys that we could say that are the more warriors of them all, but
Yeah,
in the same time, we can't really say too much of that because you know Shakur hasn't really been tested because of his skills, kind of outlead, not needing to be a warrior at that. Now,
Shakur, Shakur a dog though. If we do like if he get hit, I know Shakur he bite down. Shakur a dog.
yeah, I hear about it all the time. I hear about it in the gyms all the time that he's a dog. Um, you know, when it comes down to you in that scenario, as far as you know, being a dog, do you feel like that's one of the bigger attributes that you have that people don't really get to see?
Yeah, definitely. Like on social media, they see like me dropping people. They don't see like the wars and the sparring where I really gotta bite down when I'm sparring like high level competition and I get tired, but then I gotta bite down and I go and handle business, things like that. And yeah, I definitely feel like I'm a dog. And just to reach that top level, you gotta be a dog.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's one attribute you can't teach, and in the same time, that's one great attribute bringing to the pros. Um, so anybody that is quote unquote man strength that wants to come at you, uh, I'm pretty sure you can't wait to bring that level um, of you when that time comes. I agree. Would you have to agree?
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, you know, other matchups as well. We got Shakur Stevenson gonna be fighting Edwin De Los Santos. Um, I don't know if Edwin has pulled up to Vegas at all to spar. Um, but he does show he has some type of boxing ability. He also shows that he could hit with both hands. Do you think it's a good style matchup?
Yeah, it is. It's a he's dangerous. He's a skilled fighter. One of the probably the best one of the best people Shakur's gonna fight and just but I feel like Shakur gonna go out there, he's gonna put on a boxing clinic, look good while doing it, and just yeah, handle business.
In your opinion, do you think the Edwin De Los Santos fight is a better fight than the Frank Martin fight?
As far as like skills, I
Yeah,
feel I feel so
yeah, probably a bigger puncher,
yeah.
and he has had some back to back great performances with Rayo Venezuela, and also his last fight with Joseph Adorno. So he's really kind of showed different elements in his game uh, to be prepared for Shakur Stevenson fight. Now Shakur tells me uh, that he loves fighting southpaws. He told me on this channel. He said he loves fighting southpaws. Is that it? Do you feel like that's dangerous? Also, just knowing that you love fighting southpaws, he like fighting southpaws, and him being a southpaw at that, is that like a good attribute? When it comes down to it.
Yeah, you definitely want to know how to fight southpaws in boxing because there's a lot of southpaws out there. People that could switch, and if they know you struggle with southpaws, they'll switch on you, whatever. And so yeah, you definitely gotta be able to fight southpaws with all the different styles there is. You gotta be versatile. You gotta be ready for anything.
Right, right. Um, you know, what is something that you want to really work out on your game in the gym? Like what is one attribute that you really want to be good at the gym to show your fans down the line?
Uh, definitely like my definitely like my defense, like my counter punching. I feel like I'm already a good counter puncher, but I want to perfect it and be able to get them knockouts off counters. Get the exciting stuff.
Mm, mm. Um, when it comes down to like guys like Canelo Alvarez that work on their neck muscles, a lot of people put weights on their head. Sometimes some people stand on, you know, balance their head onto the floor. As far as the chin is concerned, and good head movement, do you believe that that's something that you work on a regular, uh, to be good? Because I feel like when you have good defense and you have a great chin, it's kind of hard to fight somebody like that.
Yeah, yeah, it is hard because you might catch them with a shot, but they didn't do nothing, and they're right back hitting you. So it could break you down mentally and physically. But I definitely work on all that. I work on the slip bag, work on the mitts, on my defense, and I do all the like the neck exercises, all that. My team makes sure I'm good and ready.
Being signed to Floyd Mayweather, um, and also, when Tank was with Floyd, he's definitely worked on defense, and even you said it that you were surprised upon how good Tank's defense is. Do you feel like that puts pressure on you when it comes down to working on your defense?
No, because I already know I have good defense, and I just haven't got the chance to show it yet.
Mm,
Uh, in sparring, I do it a lot. I have good defense, and I feel like in my next few pro fights, when I get people that will be able to maybe take the punches a little more and fire back more, they'll see my defense.
mm, lit, lit. Who would you like to see Canelo Alvarez fight next?
Benavidez after Andre,
Do you
because he not gonna fight Bivol again.
you not you don't
Uh,
think so?
nah.
Mm. Now, you also you favor Demetrius Andres in that Benavides fight, but you still want to see Canelo fight Benavides. Is that more of like because the styles, and it's more of a
Yeah,
fan friendly type of a fight?
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I feel like Boo Boo can get the nod over Benavidez, but then I feel like Boo Boo might not get the nod over Canelo. But I feel like Benavidez will get the nod over Canelo. So
Mm,
it's all styles make fights in boxing.
yep, 100%, 100%. But in the same time, with the Boo Boo and David Benavides, you still feel like that's a 50-50, or do you kind of
Yeah,
give?
it's definitely 50-50. But maybe it's biased. I don't know. I'll lean towards Boo Boo, but it's definitely a 50-50 fight.
Mm, mm. Why is it biased? Do you know Boo Boo personally?
I'm not gonna go against my people.
Hey, 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 you straight up with it. That's good. That's straight up with it. You know, and really, I think we kind of tackled all the big fights. Obviously, we probably know Brian Mendoza. He's always in the Silas gym. Have you seen him work?
Yeah, yeah. I know Brian. I see him.
So, what you think about the fight with him and Tim Zoo coming up?
Uh, that's gonna be a tough fight for both of them. I feel like I don't even know that that's a tough one. I feel
What do
like
you got?
Brian's been on a roll. He's been upset after upset, and
Facts.
I feel like he gonna do it again. He got this fight.
Mm, mm. Well, man, thank you for tapping in with me, man. I'm definitely proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing the world that you are the next up, and it's just one step at a time, one step at a time, and you're with the best handlers, and you know, popularity is what's gonna make you money in the sport, and nobody should really try to rush you into trying to get into a title shot when you're not necessarily ready. And not saying that you're not ready, but in the same time, I feel like you got to work with the business of boxing as probably a little bit more nowadays than the actual titles and stuff like that. And remember, you're real young, so continue what you're doing, man. God bless. On to the next. Once you get your next fight day, we'll definitely double up again.
Yeah, okay, for sure. Thank you.
You already know, man. This is Mill City Box. You already know, brother. This is Mill City Boxing, home of the high level pro boxing media, and that was Cormel Moton. Mayweather's fighter, uh, great amateur fighter, 18-time national champion. Um, the kid is definitely on the rise. I can't wait to see what he has in store. And it's always nice to chop it up with the kid. But nevertheless, man, we got here probably like another 10 minutes. But if you guys don't smash the like button, I'll go longer. I'll go longer and talk boxing with you guys just a little bit more longer if you smash the like button. It's free. It's free. We got over 80 people on the live, and smash the like button. Um, it is free, and probably going to be tapping out real soon, just due to the fact that when some people call me, I freeze, and I hate it. I just froze right now. I know you guys can hear me though. So make sure you guys do smash the like button to improve the visibility of the show. We're going to be doing a lot more interviews today. We have Austin Trout at 6 o'clock. We have we also have um, Gary Antoine Russell at 3 o'clock, and we'll probably be talking to Shushu Bruce Carrington as well throughout the day. We have more interviews, and more interviews for my people. So make sure you guys please smash the like button to help the channel grow. Getting into some of these comments, and shout out to all my people on the live, man. I see y'all. The Viral Chronicles. Mill, you speak Spanish, right? You would interview Hispanic boxers? Absolutely. Yo entiendo mucho el español y yo entiendo todo y hablo un poquito, pero tú sabes, yo soy un borigringo y yo trato de hacer los entrevistas, pero, you know, el español mío no very good looking, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we can make it happen. That's for sure. That's for sure. Zai the guy, extra famous off these videos. Soon you will be on top. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Real talk. Real talk. Let's get into some of this boxing. I'll be chopping up with you guys for only 8 more minutes because I know I froze and I hate when I freeze because it drops the viewership and all that. But I'll be talking to the chat for just a little bit longer because I don't like doing lives under an hour. So let's chop it up. I mean, this weekend right now, man. Uh, let's be honest. We got the Zordo Ramirez versus Joe Smith fight. It's gonna be, I believe it's still gonna be a light heavyweight fight. But this is a tricky fight for me, because Zordo Ramirez has kind of shown that he has not loved boxing the way he has before. I know he went through a dramatic family issue. Um, and I don't know if y'all remember, but when he was about to fight Jason Rosario, am I saying it? Yes. No, 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 no. It's not Jason Rosario. The Philly man, the Philly guy. Yeah, I think it's Jason Rosario. Um, he didn't even come close to making weight, ladies and gentlemen. I think he was 16 pounds or 18 pounds away from making weight, basically saying wasting everybody's time. Um, I just feel like it was a shame. It was a shame to see that. My thoughts, Tommy Grams was popping, my brother. Tommy Grams, what your thoughts on the Lubin fight? Let me tell you something about the Lubin fight. I think that people just a lot like kind of try to misjudge. I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts, and I've been seeing a lot of people talk about robbery, and I think that's kind of nonsense when it comes down to robbery. Robbery means that the fight wasn't even close, and when you have a close fight, that the fight nobody's out there trying to steal the rounds. No one is trying to take over. Um, you're gonna have a lot of close rounds. And due to the fact that no, that was the worst robbery since Pacquiao versus Horn. Hell no, not even close. Not even close because in that fight, they weren't a lot of close rounds. This fight right here, if you're not giving round one to Lubin, um, you're not watching the fight. And then yes, the first half of the fight, I do believe that Joseph Adorno definitely won the first half of the fight, but not the first round. After the seventh round, man, the dude didn't even throw punches, man. I mean, how do you win a fight without throwing punches? Lubin's jab was superior, and he landed it upstairs, downstairs, changing the levels. Beautiful boxing from Lubin, moving around. When he wasn't on the ropes, he was winning rounds. So I give that. If I had to really score it, I would have gave it a draw, and I think that would have been fair because I feel like due to the fact that Joseph Jesus Ramos was an undefeated prospect, or you know. He wanted if he won that fight, he was looking at contender status. But no, I would have to disagree. CF Sports Club, you know, watch the fight again without listening to the commentators. The commentators, they were definitely going for their guy. I don't care about punch output because if you look at the punch output, yeah, Jesus Ramos was throwing a lot more punches, but in the same time, how many landed shots did he have? His style is an effective punching. I mean, and if we're talking about power shots versus the jab, I could hear you, but some of these little pity patty taps to the body. We also seen Jesus Ramos is a volume puncher. He got tired. He got tired and really didn't he let it go, man. After the seventh round, he let it go. It's his fault. And it's not just his fault, it's also the 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 corner's fault. Even Jesus Ramos mentioned it. Should I at least pressure or do educated pressure? So he out jabbed Lubin. Oh man, you gotta watch that fight again. Jesus Ramos' jab is good. He's a well-rounded fighter when it comes to the offensive striking, but his jab was not on. You gotta be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. You could tell. Did you bet on the fight and you have your feelings on it? No, because uh, you know that's not what it was. That's He didn't land his jab. He landed more body shots, and he didn't have a jab in that fight. Lubin's jab was the more accurate jab into the fight. It was clear. It was clear. And I feel like some people get biased through the style. I feel like Jesus Ramos definitely pressured, but he wasn't letting the hands go while he was pressuring. I mean, obviously, the times that Lubin looked bad was when he was on the ropes. But if you really look at the fight clearly, after the after the sixth round, Lubin wasn't on the ropes at all. He stayed. He kept the fight in the center of the ring. Beautiful boxing, And then if you guys really look, really, really, really look clearly, Lubin hit Ramos in the seventh round with a big tempo shot, and when he landed that shot, it bothered Ramos to the point that I believe that that's probably the reason why he looked at it like that. He landed 33 power shots the whole fight. See, you're looking at copy box numbers, and that's when you go wrong. That's when you go wrong because if you look at you can't just you can't do that. No, you can't do that. You're looking at the copy box rounds that they're showing on TV, and then you're also looking at the copy route punch count in that. And when you do that, you come up with an idea in your head. Watch the fight over again, shut the sound off, and be unbiased the whole way around. If you like pressure fighters, cool, but um, that's just my opinion. And now, when you see, this is when you go wrong. CFS Sports. When you say it's an 8-4 fight and you call it a robbery, If you and you're talking about rounds that are not necessarily not there. You really believe that Ramos or and either fighter, do you believe that they absolutely took the round and you couldn't score it the other way, or we had at least 4 or 5 close rounds? You know what I'm saying? When you're not taking over the round and you're having only moments of the round, those are two different things. 8-4, that's actually a close fight. That's actually 8-4 is a close fight. If you can misjudge 2 rounds, that's a draw right now. You know what I'm saying? So when you call it a robbery, that's where people kind of go wrong because you're calling the 8-4 round and then you're calling it a robbery, and those two things don't make sense. And then we're not judges. You know, that's another thing. We're not judges. So um, I could see. I'm not gonna argue too much because if you hear what I said, I did say that it was a draw if I had to really score it. But I'm not going to. No, 8-4. That's not a robbery, bro. When you when you win 3 rounds, that's more of a robbery. When you win 4 rounds, and you gotta look at the fight. You can't just go give me a score count. And if you dominated, right? If you dominated 8 rounds, that's different. You can't come on you can't come on and say that he dominated 8 rounds. No, you probably had Jesus Ramos winning 8 rounds, and you can't lie to yourself saying that there were no close rounds. You know what I'm saying? I had Loma winning 8-4 against Haney. There you go. And if you had that, and then people were talking about that being a robbery. But those are people that don't understand boxing. You know what I'm saying? When it's an 8-4 round, and you're calling it a robbery, you can't call that a robbery too. And then the same thing with that fight. There are not a lot of dominating rounds. It's not like Haney dominated. Haney won the fight on the pity pat body shots. Okay, well, you tell me, was Lubin hurt in that fight? Did you see Lubin's face? Did you see Ramos' face? And I understand one's really dark and one's not, but Ramos on the side of his head was, pretty red from that hook shot that I was telling you about. First time I seen it. They were pretty pat body shots because Loma got stronger as the fight went on. Okay, Tommy Grams, you feel me? You feel me? You gotta judge based off of base. No, we're not talking about that. But if we're gonna talk about, see, you taking little things that I say and then you're running with it, riding with it. Talk about your 8-4 round that you calling it a robbery. Like, do facts. Talk about facts. Talk about facts. Talk about your 8-4 round. Then talk about dominating. Did you see Jesus Ramos dominating 8 rounds? Answer me that question. And then you know and I'm not here for an amazing debate, but I enjoy debating as well because we're not arguing CF sports. We just debating on your opinion and minds, and not everybody's right. A robbery is Rolly and Tony Weeks. That's a goddamn robbery. That's a massacre. That's a massacre right there. That's for sure. That's for sure. And the judges give 8-9 rounds to the other way. I see, but you're not telling. You see, I'm not agreeing with that scorecard. I didn't think that Jesus Ramos won 9 rounds at all. You know what I'm saying? In my, I would have did it this way. The same. It's very similar to the Haney fight. It could have went 7-5 either way, or it could have been a draw. That's my opinion on that fight. Nobody went out and stole the fight. Nobody crooked it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody took it. You know what I'm saying? Gave 6 or 7 rounds. That's a robbery if the judges gave 6 or 7 rounds. I don't get I don't get why. I don't get what you're saying. CF Sports. That's why it's a robbery though. Would you struggle to find more than 5 rounds for Lubin? Struggle to find more. I mean, like I said, I had it, and this is how I scored it. From seven and up, I gave it to Lubin, and then I give the first round to Lubin as well. There's my draw. You know what I'm saying? There's my draw. And you know, the judges looked at it, and they probably looked at there was a lot of close rounds, and the close and honestly, the closer rounds were more in the first half of the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not throwing fights, if you're not throwing punches, you're not winning rounds. That's an automatic. Smash the like button if you rocking what I'm saying. If you're not throwing punches, it is what it is. If it was 6 or 7, that's fine. Yeah, that's where I got it, CF. That's where I got it. The Olympic went out of Ramos. But I'll tell you right now, they're close rounds. They're close rounds, and I can't, I can't, I can't tell you that the accuracy of Lubin's jab was the big thing. Was the big thing at the end of the fight, the end of the half of the fight, the second half of the fight. It was huge. But a lot of people don't want to say that. A lot of people look at the pressure and stuff, and they dictate the fight through that. So that's just how I feel upon it. 11 punches landed, 2 3, even with a human error, there's no way you score that from Lubin. See, you're looking at the punch stats, and those are just as accurate as the copyright box number rounds. Those are just as accurate as that. Because if that was the case, and I'll give you a perfect example, CF Sports. I'll give you a perfect example. Okay, um, Rashidi Ellis. Rashidi Ellis. If you look at the copy box numbers, right, he broke a record in his jabs against Ramon Villa. He lost the fight. He lost the fight. The copy box numbers showed that Ellis was more active, but the pressure fighter won. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about the 2 knockdowns. I had Rashidi Ellis already winning the first 8 rounds, in the bag. Um, but that's just my behalf on that. Effect when Ramos took his foot off the gas. Effect, yeah, he took his foot off the gas, absolutely. But you're giving him the 11th round. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we doing here? You know, for if you're generous. Well, it seems to me that you're not probably giving, Eric, the first round. And if you can't give Eric the first round, that's crazy. Because clearly, just the stabs to the body alone equaled up. I think Jesus Ramos had a hard time getting to Lubin in the second half of the fight. But like I said, like I'm not gonna come out here and say that it wasn't a close fight. It was a close fight. But to hear a robbery, it shocks me. It shocks me. It reminds me of me in the amateurs, man, when I lost my first fight, my only fight that I lost, and I was being a crybaby upon, saying it was a robbery. But I knew that I should have been a little bit. I should have threw more punches. I knew I should have threw more punches. And looking at the reaction of Jesus Ramos, he didn't. He wasn't mad upon it. He believed. The first thing that I remember him saying was, um, you know, that he said that Erickson Lubin's game plan was good. He had a good game plan. You know, you know, it was smart of Lubin. It was smart of Lubin. He probably gave some of those fights up. But yeah, Lubin interview coming soon. Yeah, that's right. I just hit him yesterday, and he told me let's set it up. So I'll be waiting for his response, and hopefully we can get it done today. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can get it done today. If not today, we definitely will get it done this week. I want to make sure that I'm the first one to get that interview for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Lubin had good defense. He had excellent defense, man. He had excellent defense. His corner was in his ass telling him he gotta let his hands go. Yeah, that because they're close rounds. Cunningham's not dumb. Cunning, who do you think is A side in that fight? CF Sports. Be honest. Who do you think? Who do you think is A side? You know, Jesus Ramos is A side. So any of those close rounds, and there were so many close rounds that Lubin was A side. No, you got to be out of your freaking mind. See, how do you go off of uh 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 how is A how is Ramos A side? Are you kidding me? He's undefeated. He's 22 years old. Did you see the Mexican fan base? Come on, man. I wasn't expecting that from you, bro. 22 years old, undefeated, and he has a more of a crowd. He has way more of a crowd. Every time he fights, the crowd goes crazy. And if you sell tickets, that's where it is. That's what it is. So what no one knows who he is. See, you so what no one knows who he is? What are you talking about? No one knows who it is. People know who Lubin is. See, the Americans know who Lubin is, and obviously, Lubin's 27 years old. You're gonna know who he is. He was in there with Fandora, Charlo, and he was in the top of his game. He's been in the top of his game for over a decade. Of course, you're gonna know Lubin, but that's not the case. He has two L's, and two of those big L's are through knockout. He got knocked out. That takes away a lot. That takes away a lot from your that takes a lot. So, I mean, if you don't, they've been molding, they've been really, really, really helping Jesus Ramos with the matchups. So, I mean, for you not to know, if Ramos was A side, the judges would have robbed him. See, but the thing about it, you're calling the robbery. You're calling the robbery. You're calling a close fight a robbery. That's so, just like everybody was talking about you know, you could tell that you wanted Ramos to win. You know, well, I don't know. I don't know who you wanted to win, but my opinion is, yeah, most people. Let me tell you something. Most people don't know shit about boxing. That's another thing too. There's more casual fans out here talking crazy than people that actually know the sport. And no shade to you. No shade to you, but if you're going off of what most people say, there's more casual fans than actual fans. Look at the Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis fight. They sold 1.2, 1.4 million pay-per-view buys. The majority of those people don't know shit about boxing. You know what I'm saying? When everyone, including boxers and real boxing accounts, all said it was a robbery. Yeah, but a lot of boxing accounts don't know shit about boxing. The same way as these people talking about Teofimo Lopez gonna fight Javante Tank Davis. All those people, all those boxing accounts, right, are saying that shit. Well, guess what? I got Teo's phone number. I texted Teo, right? He told me don't even entertain it. He wants to fight. Don't get it twisted. He wants the payday, but he knows that Tank is not moving up to 140. Now, I got Calvin Ford and Coach Kenny's number, and I talked to them, and they told me don't even listen to it. We don't even know who they're gonna fight in right now. Right now, they're set on Pitbull Cruz, but the media doesn't really want to see that fight. The fans really don't want to see that fight. The American fan base, but there's a whole Mexican fan base that really want to see the fight. You know what I'm saying? So they're figuring out what's Tank's next option, but Teofimo is not on there, and that's why you're not seeing me. You might see me post something to get some views on a like Cormel Moton, for an example. You know what I'm saying? And plus, I'm a supporter of both guys. So do I want the fight to happen? Yes, I want Tio to get big fights. You know what I'm saying? I want Tank to show how great he is. You know what I'm saying? I want, Tio's has showed he's a great fighter. Um, I think they both have. You know what I'm saying? They're both special in their own ways. But and I would go out and tell people, ask people's perspective upon the fight. But you're not going to hear from my voice saying that I believe that this fight's going to happen next. When when I have real sources, plus, like you said, like you said, real boxing accounts. What makes a real boxing account? How about that? How about we answer that question? What makes a real boxing account? I think that's the question of the day. What makes a real boxing account? You know what I'm saying? Because you got some views? Nah, that's not it. That's not it. You know, we got people saying that Teofimo Sr. said this himself. I haven't seen the interview of Teo Sr. saying this at all. I mean, you tell me. You tell me if y'all seen that. You know what I'm saying? Blackjack, let's not do all that, man. Let's not do all that, because that's a little too much, man. That's a little too much. You have to respect the Mexican boxers, man. Um, Dude, who's been watching this sport for a long time? You know what? Let me tell you something about dudes that been watching the sport. Dudes that watch the sport. There's some of these people, most of these people. I want to say 70% of these people that watch boxing don't even know what they're actually watching. They're just listening to the commentators. They're listening to their favorite fighter or analyze a fight and agreeing what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't know what they're watching. I used to be an amateur boxer with 13 fights. When I look at a fight, I look at a fight completely different than anybody does. I study fighters, I study styles, and most importantly, I study the body language of it. You know what I'm saying? I pay attention to details. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I look at the sport completely different. And I don't just jump off of what people say. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna run narratives in your head, and you're gonna believe some of them, and then from there you're gonna come up with the real thing. You know, and I don't want to say that nobody knows about boxing that comes and tunes into my channel, because I feel like when you come to a channel like this, you hear a lot of you hear a lot of the content from the sources' mouths, and you can come and build your narrative and stuff like that. But I just don't. You have to watch it on mute, or you just don't pay attention to the thing. But pay attention to body language. Pay attention to how a person gets hit and what he does after. I think little things like that is very important. You know what I'm saying? When a fighter slows down, when he picks it up, there's different game plans and stuff like that. But I don't go off of people that have been watching the sport for a while, because honestly, if you watch the sport for a while, you'll go and you'll also be biased upon your favorite fighter, and that's bad too. I pay attention to the effectiveness. Lubin was on the ropes most of the fight. See, that's where you went wrong. The first half of the fight, watch it over, bro. Watch it over. The first half of the fight, I would agree with you. He was on the ropes a lot more. But let me tell you something. That's also a game plan. If you know anything about boxing, upon blowing your load and playing chess with someone blowing their load, and testing their wind, that's the game plan that Lubin had. Lubin's the older fighter, you know what I'm saying? He was more of an accurate puncher versus Jesus Ramos. Jesus Ramos was swinging, missing a lot. Lubin's head movement was great in the fight. He kept, like I said, after the sixth round, he kept the distance and started shooting the jab. You know what I'm saying? But we can. Lubin lost, bro. His trainer was in the corner saying he was losing, bro. Like that's one thing that you. That's another thing about being a trainer. When you know, and I'm gonna say this again, when you know that your B side You know your fighter took 2 L's, bad L's too at that. 2 L's that can mess up um your stock in the sport. This was a hit or miss for Lubin. This was a fight for Jesus Ramos to take his spot. You know what I'm saying? And yes, if you lost if you lost 5 rounds out of the first half of the fight, and then you have and you don't know because there's some close rounds, there's some, you know what I'm saying. So if he was truly a B-side, like you say, right, judges wouldn't have give him 3 plus free rounds. But see, the thing about it is that when we talk about A side, B side, you know what I'm saying? Judges look at fights completely different. They favor the way they wanna they wanna favor it. You know, they if they like a certain style, they'll root for the guy that they like the style of the fighter. That's common sense. You know, you know, if you don't believe that Lubin is B side, right? Lubin, check out my interview with Lubin. How about that? Check out my interview with Lubin, and Lubin says it himself. Lubin says it himself, just like Regis. When I interviewed Regis with Devin, Regis knew he was B side, and he's champion. You know, so it's about tickets that get sold, brother. You know what I'm saying? There's more people. You didn't see. All right, I'll give you another. I'll give you another thing here too. Who went into the ring first? Lubin or Ramos? Question. Regis is clearly what? Because Regis is clearly B side, holding the WBC title. But who went up first? Who went up first when it came down to going into the ring? Lubin did. Who also when you look at the tickets that get sold, the crowd that goes wild, that's a pro Mexican crowd. Now, let's leave it at that. Even the last fight that Ramos fought against Joey Spencer, did you see the crowd there? They went crazy. They went crazy. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Ramos sells lots of tickets. If you pay attention to some of the people that said what they say about Ramos selling tickets, he sells a lot of tickets. So I mean, for me to go back and forth on who's B side and who's A side on a Ramos and Lubin card, I'll tell you one thing. When I do my interview with Lubin, I'm gonna ask him what he believes. Okay. When judges are for that off, that mark, the fix is in with boxing. Um, it's that's arguable. That's arguable. But let's one thing that we had what I can say is that you and I are not judges. We're just looking it upon what we see on TV. And on TV, even punches are coming in a millisecond slower. You know what I'm saying? But Haney is not a pay-per-view attraction. I hear what you're saying, you know, when it comes to attraction, but he's building his resume when it comes to pay per view. You know, with this fight coming up with Regis Prograis, I don't think they're gonna sell crazy, but who knows? You know, who knows? You know, they did. I think with him and Loma, they cracked like 250 or a little bit under 250. I think it was like 230. You know, neither. So I don't think it's gonna sell great, but hey, you know, it's gonna be a fight that I'm gonna tune into. I'm probably gonna pull up exactly. I'm gonna be with Zab Judah, and hopefully I can get into the locker room with Haney and Regis and stuff. Regis is my guy. I rock with Regis a lot. He's a real one, you know. Uh, but in that fight, that's a 50-50 fight for sure. I kind of lean towards Devin outboxing just because of his abilities on the back foot and his athletic ability. But who knows? If Regis can land a big punch, it could change the whole thing. Both lost. Don't want to see both of them anymore. Um, that's the under. Underrated fight. Mm, I wish Warrington had more power. Let's talk. Oh, what y'all think about Elijah Garcia? I just texted him yesterday, and we're gonna do an interview. I think that middleweight is i- is something special. I think his defense needs a lot of work, but also I think that his offense is pretty great. A southpaw with a great left hand, but he neglected the hooks, and as soon as he threw hooks, man, sheesh, he really got some power in those hands. Defensively, with the head movement and keeping his hands up, I think that he should definitely put those fights up. But be in the lookout for Elijah. Garcia at the 160 division. I think he's a kid that he started boxing late, but in the same time, I think that he got something. He got something to look forward to. Lubin didn't win. Even his coach was telling him to let his hands go. See, the thing about with y'all, man, is y'all listen to something and y'all automatically assume just because his coach. Remember, his coach knows where his fighter is. You know what I'm saying? His coach knows exactly. I love boxing. What's up, my guy? Listen, man. Just watch it over, man. Make sure you press the like button. It's definitely a good one. Elijah versus Jenna Beck one day. I like that you said one day, bro, because I know that Elijah's not ready for that step up. But yes, a good fight indeed. You know, in the future, for sure. Tommy Grams, what up? I had the first round a tie. Ah, you had the first round a tie. Ah. Oh, you talk about yeah. I remember you saying about that with the Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez. I didn't have Jermell winning any round. I think they gifted him the fifth and ninth. I didn't have him winning no rounds. I think Canelo pitched a freaking shutout. Canelo Charlo was scared to throw punches. He looked like a kitty cat in there. Uh, um, but nah, I mean, you remember CF Sportsman. Uh, Canelo was very accurate that fight. If he landed a shot in his elbow, it's a landed punch. It's considered a body punch. That's just what it is, bro. I felt like Charlo wasn't punching dog shit. Was whack. I hate Charlo. Never wanted to see him fight ever again. Take it easy, bro. Take it easy, bro. He stepped up like how Canelo stepped up for Bevo. And if y'all believe that Charlo had a chance, I mean, come on, man. I've been telling y'all and stuff like that. I put 300 to make $60. The odds was crazy. Nobody knew. Nobody really thought, unless you was biased upon your culture, and you never want to go against your culture. You was not saying Charlo won. And all those people that were biased upon their culture, they didn't put no money on the fight. No money on the fight. I stepped up for a payday and I lost weeks. Absolutely, he definitely. I felt like I ain't gonna front. Like I felt like he wanted to win, but in his heart, I didn't believe he could win. Like even in the press conference, you believe that he didn't believe it. I don't think he believes he could beat Crawford, bro. I don't think he believes it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, payday, payday. I know that. I'm not with that culture shit when it comes to boxing. That's what's making boxing mad toxic. Yeah, man. I'm with you on that, man. It pisses me off too. It pisses me off too. This shit get into like a race war. I hate it. He deserves this, Mills. He never tried. Yeah, I understand. You know what I'm saying? He definitely came for a payday. I've been telling people I thought Canelo was gonna knock him out. And that was before that. And then I changed my prediction saying it was gonna go the distance. My bet was the distance because I felt like he probably would have had more dog in him and stuff like that. But not dog to throw punches. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Mill City. pound for pound like button. Thank you, Blind Faith. I appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you guys. Make sure y'all smash the like button if you rock with the channel, man. I can't wait to start getting the phone lines in and stuff like that. And we can really make the channel pop. You know what I'm saying? Get all your get all your get all your perspectives on the fights, the whole nine, the predictions, the reactions, and it's all gonna come soon, man. It's all gonna come soon. Facts is Hispanic fighters don't get close decisions in PBC. Always favor the brothers. I mean, Patricia, Patricia, we know this, man. We know this. We know this. You know, that could be true, but you gotta go out your way and really, really, really wanna take over. Remember with the Ryan, like the same thing with the Rayo Venezuela and Chris Cobra fight. I was pissed. I lost. You know, what I could have won was $560 on the parlay, and that fight messed it up. And Ryo even scored a knockdown and won the first half of the fight, but he slowed down in the second half. And that's what happens, man. That's what happens, man. You don't slow down the pace. You don't pull a Oscar De La Hoya against Trinidad. You don't do that. Because you're gonna mess up all the fans' money, man. You're gonna definitely lose all the fans' money, you know. And I don't want I felt like it was a robbery, but I had money on it. So I'm gonna say that, you know what I'm saying? But I watched the fight over again, and it was closer than what I thought, but I still thought Ryan won though. Mills, who are the top five fighters all time and present? Blind Faith. We gonna do that. So my favorite two fighters of all time is Sugar Ray Leonard and Sugar Ray Robinson. I think that, and then the thing about it too is like when you do the all time, I can't I can't put the 12 round fighters in my all time fight, because they're different. You know what I'm saying? So I look at I look at Sugar Ray Robinson and Sugar Ray Leonard are my two top. Um, Then from there, I'm a big Sweet Pea fan, and a big Thomas Hurt fan. But also in the same time, before I put Hearns up there, I got Benitez, the Puerto Rican legend, is definitely my third. And then I put Thomas Hearn, and then I put Sweet Pea uh, as my fifth. Um, but in the same time, I could flip flop, Sweet Pea with my man James Toney. I'm a big, big, big James Toney fan. So they're two huge defensive fighters right there. So my top five, I can't even do top five. You got to give me like top six and seven. You know what I'm saying? But those are my guys right there. And then for 12 round fighters right now, yo, real talk, for 12 round fighters, I got Terrence Crawford in there as well. So yeah, for 12 round fighters, I got Mayweather. Obviously, he's in there. I got Roy Jones in there. I got James Toney in there. I got you know, growing up, I was a big Tito Trinidad fan. But that being said, I got also, the Oscar De La Hoya. If you are a Tito fan, you're kind of like a Oscar De La Hoya fan type of a deal. Um, so when it comes down to my favorite fighters, because I love boxing so much, I gotta separate them not just off of like, not the 12 round fighters or 15 round fighters. I gotta kind of like talk about, eras. The eras like the 80s, the 90s. That's how you got to kind of ask me that question. Like, who's your favorite 80s and 90s and the 2000s and stuff like that. But yeah, and then I was a big Pacquiao guy too. Like I was a big Pacquiao guy, you know what I'm saying? And then you gotta put Canelo Alvarez there in this era. You know what I'm saying? So Hopkins was an amazing fighter. I mean, what's crazy too? I was actually a big Jermaine Taylor fan. I was a big Jermaine Taylor fan. Gold medalist, beat Hopkins. What I think he beat Hopkins 2 times, and then freaking my my man freaking Kelly Kelly Pavlik fucking dismantled him and messed him up. Uh, a Joe Kazaki was fire, fire. See, I love boxing, man. I love boxing, so it's like you know every fighter got a special things upon them. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to and I like a lot of the Mexican fighters too. Like I enjoyed watching Salvador Sanchez. Salvador Sanchez was definitely in my list as well. Great, 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 great fighter. You know, I was a Oh my god! And then how am I not putting Hagler? Hagler was one of my favorites. That's my one of my you know what I'm saying? We did the top my top five. I said I needed top 6 or 7 because there's too many great fighters back in the days and stuff like that. I like more boxing back in the days than currently right now. Ricardo Torres, one of the oh my god. I mean Ricardo Lopez, fire Mexican fighter, like fire. Oh, bro, you gotta show me some love. I'm watching the molten part on my TV. Text you live on the phone. Word, man. Appreciate you, man. What's your favorite era? 70s? The 70s? The 70s was the best. Um, Hard to say the 80s because I was born. Hagler used to be my favorite of the four. But watching all the fights, Hearns for me, nobody was outboxing him. Hearns had one of the best jabs of all time, man. Tommy Hearns had one of the best jabs of all time. Salute to Just Do Boxing, man. Was crack-a-lacking, my man. Was crack-a-lacking. We talking about, boxing uh, at its finest from, back in the days in the 70s to the 80s, man. But we had Curmel Moton for an hour. So if you want to tap in, make sure you guys smash the like button, man. But great, man. It was a great show. Uh, Mill, I saw your show yesterday, and you thought I was a robber. It was a robbery. Now you changing your mind. What we talking about here, man? The Lubin fight? What are we talking about, Patricia? You can wind that back. I never said it was a robbery. Never said it was a robbery. I've been saying that it could have been a draw. If I had to vote, it would have been a draw. But I liked I like Lubin in it. You know what I'm saying? I did. Now, when we talk about what my prediction was, my prediction was different. I'll tell you that. My prediction was definitely different. I ain't gonna hold you. I had Jesus Ramos winning. I thought that he was gonna to win, but yeah, I'm happy for Lubin. He got his opportunity. 50s Rocky Marciano. Yeah, yeah, Esther Charles was one of the best guys to ever do the shoulder roll. You know what I'm saying? Talking to my guy James Tony, I'm supposed to be talking to James Tony today. He hit me up yesterday, talking about he didn't forget about me. So he just got inducted to the Atlantic City Hall of Fame. Um, but yeah, this was a great show, guys. I'm gonna be doubling it up real soon. I got Gary Antoine Russell up next. So make sure you guys tap in. You already know it's Mill City Boxing, home of the high level pro boxing media. We got a lot of Lennox Lewis or Liston. Sonny Liston or Lennox Lewis. Let me tell you something. Liston was a motherfucker. Liston was a beast. Then he met Ali. I like Lennox Lewis because he was more of a technician. I think Lennox Lewis was probably one of the best heavyweight boxers of all time. When it came down to skills. And he's definitely Now, how would he do with a prime George Foreman? How would he do with Muhammad Ali? Think Ali was so athletic, he probably would have got Lennox. You know what I'm saying? Ali was one of the greatest to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? But Rockman, yeah. Then he rated facts, rags, facts, facts. Uh, the Chronics. Who wins in your opinion, Mills? Zordo or Joe Smith? And Woods versus Warrington. Two great fights. Um, this week I'm gonna do a little more research because honestly, I haven't seen Joe Smith fight in a minute. You know what's funny about these two guys? Um, and I'm gonna be doing the interview also with Jesse Hart this week. He fought both Joe Smith and Zordo Ramirez. Like I think in my behalf, Zordo Ramirez is a bigger guy, but we haven't seen Joe Smith. Joe Smith from New York City, and he's been very quiet. I've been trying to get an interview with him, but he's been very, very quiet. So I don't know if he's getting busy or not. Super layoff that Joe Smith has. Super low layoff. They both major layoff. I like I like the way Zordo's size and the way he shoots his 1-2 in the hook. He has a great chance of winning the fight. Joe Smith got some dog in him. It's hard. That's a hard fight to call, but I would have to give the edge to Zordo Ramirez. Zordo Ramirez, but I might change my prediction though. I might, so don't really look at this prediction and just give me some time on it. You know what I'm saying? I think that this is going to be a great fight though. I think that it's hard to call. You know what I'm saying? But I really want to know who really put in that work, man. I think whoever put in the most work in the training camp wins this fight. You know what I'm saying? Because skillfully, they both have skill. I think that Zordo is a sharper fighter though, so I kind of give the edge to Zordo. But man, we haven't seen him in a minute, man. Uh, yeah, all of them, but PBC. We ain't seen Tony Weeks since Nah, Tony. I seen Tony Weeks in the fight. I forget what fight was it. Was it Elijah Garcia? But he was he he refereed one of the fights in the for sure this weekend. Mills, if PBC goes to Amazon Prime, I heard that. I heard that. You think we could get weight class weight class tournaments? Weight class tournaments, huh? Amazon's such a huge, huge platform, man. Huge. They got so much money. Anything can happen, man. Anything can happen. That's a good question, though. That's a very good question. Because just watching some of these new guys come into boxing, they tend to change the rules. Look at overtime. Look at the new rule that they did. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Wood versus Warrington. Mm. Let me get back to you on that too. I haven't seen enough. I haven't seen enough of either of them. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen enough of either of them. And normally, if I don't really like throwing a prediction and being completely wrong. Even though I don't care for being wrong, but I still want to be able to give you guys at least why I vote. Why I predict this fighter could win. You know what I'm saying? But what could be why a lot of these people talking about retirement shit? It could be the little Michael Jordan shit, bro. It really could be. So when you come back, it's like the new thing, like, yo, I'm back. Come holla at me. Like I remember how Mayweather went to jail, then Mayweather came back and fought fucking didn't fight for a minute, then fought Pacquiao, or didn't fight for a minute and then fought Conor McGregor. I know Tio was talking about that and trying to like do something similar to that. But yeah, that's just what it is. And then, but no, people are they. It bothers. It bothers, but it kind of shows you that some of these guys are kind of more for the paycheck and than anything else. So that could be is that Mayweather. The answer to that is Mayweather. Mayweather. He wants to be called the greatest of all time with what, like 50 fights, 50 something fights, and like he wants to just because he's undefeated. We got like Sugar Ray Robinson that fought over like 200 fights, man. You know what I'm saying? So you know how do you really compare? And then and then in Mayweather's defense, everything that he says is like, oh, I fought the most world champions. Well, you definitely fought the most world champions, but when you fought them and how you fought them dictates exactly who you are as a champion. So that's why I don't have him as my all time. Can't compare the 14 round fighters to the 12 round fighters. Sorry. A great time to buy stocks before. Yes, Amazon. Amazon stocks are gonna be lit, but definitely they're gonna be taking over boxing, bro. Sugar Ray Leonard beats all Floyd's teachers. Blind faith in the building. Smash the like button. Give me a smash. Give me a smash. Give me a smash. Pause. That's kind of crazy what I just said. But ladies and gentlemen, I gotta grab something to eat. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get no super chats to get some lunch, but you know what I'm saying? At least send me those likes, like, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I'm gonna grab some lunch right now and get ready for the Gary Antoine Russell interview. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Hopefully you guys all pop in. And then after that, we're gonna have Austin Trout at 6 o'clock. So holla at your boy. It's Mill City Boxing, home of the high level pro boxing media, the fighters channel, the trainers channel, my people's channel. God bless and on to the next.